He spit! I gotcha! Oh god! Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Kingdom Hearts 3! You might be wondering why I'm in the final world, and that's because I simply like the music here. We're gonna be reading like right off the bat this episode, so I want background music while I read, and I really like the music here. So forgive me if you don't like the music here, because I do, and that's literally as far as that goes. And like I said, yes, today we are finally actually going to read the reports that we've been gathering the last couple episodes, because last episode we did actually finally do it. So yeah, let's this. I was about to ask where they were. I don't need to. Secret Report 1. Recollections. Am I alive? I awoke in a cell, alone until the researchers came with their tests and their prodding to uncover my identity. I had no answer to offer them. 4 friends and a key. That is the sum total of my memory. I cannot even recall my name. I was simply called X there. My only solace was the time I spent talking with 2 boys who would visit me from time to time. One day, a man came to take me from the prison. I cannot see him for the darkness, save that he wore an eye patch. Even now, years on, I feel no closer to understanding who or what I am. May my heart be my guiding key. Unknown. Odd. Mark of Mastery Journal. Some days have passed since I set off on my journey to prepare for the Mark of Mastery examination. Sorry, that was really funny how I said that. Ericus asked for leave to undertake the same pilgrimage, but apparently I am to be first to tour the worlds written of in the old fairy tales. Until a few short years ago, I'd known only my own world, a speck of land surrounded by sea. But how I dreamed of, yearned for the world beyond, and granted guidance from the future, I left that nest behind. As I treaded the path to my master's side, I came in contact with darkness in many forms. I know even then, as by instinct, terrifying as its power was, could be harnessed, mastered. Ericus is a blue blood, descended from the very first masters in the age of fairy tales, but I did not come this far to indulge my adulation. I will be his peer, his equal, and to do that, I must learn to wield the power born from both darkness and light in proper balance. Xehanort. Huh. Okay. Experiments of the Heart. Notes on Subject X. Excerpt 1. Subject was found in the central square shortly after dawn. Female, approximately 15 years old. After 7 days observation, she spoke her first words, but could not provide a name. Subject exhibits signs of profound amnesia and displays concern about which world this is. Her words suggest that she departed her home world with others, though she cannot recall the names of her erstwhile companions. All efforts to explore those memories have met with a rejection response. After his initial experiments on me, Ansem the Wise ceased his research into the heart, his hands stayed by some fear I cannot fathom. Yet this new subject is like me, devoid of memories. She's the perfect sample upon which to continue my master's work. She too could benefit from it. By traversing the heart, we have a direct path into memory. I myself have begun to reclaim my lost past thanks to these very experiments. Who is she? Whence has she come? These are questions no scientist could ignore. And the words she muttered, may your heart be your guiding key. Xehanort. Experiments of the Heart. Notes on Subject X. Excerpt 2. Subject's memories have not returned, and our conversations remain less than lucid. What fragments can be gleaned evoke a bygone world, like one out of fairy tales. As improbable as it seems, the question may not be where she has come from, but when. If she truly has crossed through time, the prospect of probing her heart is all the more compelling. My pilot studies used a handful of subjects, but none possessed the fortitude to endure them. Ultimately, all suffered mental collapse. I knew it would be a heavy blow to use a subject as unique as she. Upon discovering the tests I have been conducting, my master demanded that I cease my work immediately and destroy what research I have compiled. Or still, he ordered the release of my remaining subjects. She is gone. Where is Subject X now? Has wise Master Ansem hidden her away? Whatever the case, I will not be deterred. I will take her place as the first subject in the grand experiment to come. Xehanort. Huh. I don't know that I like this. Memoirs Excerpt 1. That castle was a wonderland to us children. Within its walls, Ansem the Wise conducted his research, and the fruits it bore allowed everyone outside to live in peace and happiness. That alone was enough to stoke our interest, though not all of the rumors that escaped its walls were so benevolent. By night, the muffled sounds of human wails emerged. There was talk of dangerous human experimentation. Lee and I couldn't help but hatch a plot to steal inside and sate our curiosity. The two who stood guard at the gates were researchers themselves, though you wouldn't think it to see them, massive and barrel-chested as they were. And slipping past that duo was only the first hurdle. It proved one not easily cleared. We were found and tossed out on our ears time and time again. On the day we finally secured our entry, we descended the long spiral stair at the heart of the castle to find a dark space below it, lined with cages. There wasn't light enough to see if they were inhabited, and we were in no position to call out to any occupants within. Yet we could feel it, a definite presence there in the black. Terror washed over us, and we immediately regretted coming. But just as we turned to flee, we heard the faintest of voices. The urge to run was nigh overpowering. There, framed by a tenuous sliver of light, we found her. XIII. Okay, thank God! I'm actually gonna get answered on the she we're talking about between XIII and Lee here. Memoirs Excerpt 2. It was too dim to make out her features. We spoke to her in hushed whispers. Who was she? Why was she imprisoned here? She had no answers for us, had no memories at all. She was an enigma, but I knew I wanted to help her. And so we continued our infiltrations. Most of them stopped short at the castle gates. When we did manage our way inside, we spoke with her. That was all the comfort two children like us could offer. But Lee had other ideas. He was determined to free her. We slipped into the castle that day, knowing only that we wanted, with all our hearts, to save her. But we did not find her inside on that day, or the next, or any of our subsequent visits. Had she been moved? Had we simply imagined her? Lee and I knew there was only one way to be certain, and so we stand before the castle gates today, not as trespassing children, but in order to become Ansem the Wise's newest apprentices. Holy shit, okay. Huh. On the replica program and reanimation. Following my erasure and my recompletion as a human, I did not awaken right away. Perhaps the damage was exceptionally grave. Even after waking, I remained in bed, pondering my next course of action. In my work on the replica program for the organization, I produced some 20 vessels. Most of the early results were failures, not one of them granted a number. The first success to emerge from that early lot was the Riku replica. Subsequently, Shion, number I, was essentially indistinguishable from a natural human, though she became unstable due to the influence of others. Using those two as my foundation, I worked to construct a number of nigh-perfect replicas, but just as they neared completion, my efforts were cut short. I suspect Xehanort aims to use both the initial lot as well as the unused replicas from my work later. I arose today and decided to walk out to the square, my first outing in some time, yet my stroll was interrupted when a surprising visitor appeared with an unexpected offer. Though younger than me, he'd risen to become Xemnas' right hand. I accepted his terms and became a nobody once more. Easier to gain access to the old replica program that way. Whatever it takes to atone. Vexen. Huh, the real organization. Xehanort seeks to gather 12 vessels, which together with his true, actual self, he considers the real Organization 13. Now that he has the numbers he needs, Demix and I are being treated as reserves. Several others who served Xemnas in the old organization have followed the same course as mine, electing to abandon their newly restored humanity and rejoin the real organization as nobodies. But not Xemnas. Xemnas cannot exist in the present because there is already a Xehanort here, the old man in charge. The old man's humanity prevented his heartless and nobody, others vanquished in the past, and his younger self from being denizens of this time. To circumvent this, Xehanort is using the prototype replicas I created in the past as containers, plucking his other selves' hearts from the time they existed. Xehanort ordered me to refine the prototypes, to make them closer still to the real thing. Perfecting my creations as they may house true flesh and blood humans suits my own purposes as well. All that remains for my atonement is to devise a way to pass on as many of the vessels as I can to those who truly deserve them. Vexen. Ansem Code Conspectus Excerpt 1. I have pored over the data my master entrusted to Riku. Here I offer my preliminary conclusions. Within Sora's heart are 3 compartmentalized boxes, each containing the heart of another. One box holds Roxas. Another holds a second heart that has been with Sora nearly as long. The third has held its heart for much longer. These hearts have melded within Sora's and no longer have voices of their own. Any attempt to mechanically extract them could prove as dire for Sora as what caused him to become a Heartless in the first place. First, a vessel for each heart must be readied. Then, a spark of some sort is required to induce its waking. Obviously, the ideal solution is to restore each heart to its own body, but whatever the case for the 2 unknown individuals, Roxas possesses no such thing. The same is true for Naminé, who we believe resides in Kairi's heart. Still, if alternate bodies can be secured for them, all their hearts require to be awakened is that spark, people they cared for and who cared for them, who can show them the way home. Complete and perfect digitalization of the heart is impossible. We can only hope to partially reconstruct it. Thus, I see no way forward but to extract the hearts we so desperately need directly from within Sora. Fortunately, the data stored in Twilight Town contains a near-perfect record of the memories of those who lived there, and for Roxas and Naminé especially, this is crucial. Ienzo. Ansem Code Conspectus Excerpt 2. As for how to contain their hearts, the only conceivable option is the replicas. If we transfer in the digital memories from the Twilight Town archive, the replicas should be able to reconstruct each individual human's appearance with near-perfect results. Then, their hearts need only the right spark to wake them, so they may find their way out of Sora and Kairi and into those newly made bodies. The replica program was truly revolutionary, but it was incomplete at the time of the organization's dissolution. Without Evan, how are we to further the research? We need at least 3 replicas, one for Roxas, one for Naminé, and one for the unknown stowaway within Sora's heart. These are difficult quandaries, but as I worked through my master's data, I found myself remembering the taste of ice cream. When I was a boy, he would bring me some when we took walks together. There will be a time to regret my betrayal later. For now, my focus must be on restoring Roxas and Naminé and proving my master had good intentions. Ienzo. Observations Excerpt 1. I have seen it through. The Keyblade War unfolded exactly as written on the lost page. Now the Keyblade the Master entrusted to me must be bequeathed to another. 5 Union leaders have been chosen from the surviving Dandelions. I will pass the Keyblade to one of them, and then continue watching the future unfold. Yet it seems that someone has pulled the old switcheroo. One of the 5 is an imposter, someone the Master did not choose. They represent a virus in the program he so carefully wrote. The virus has begun a strange undertaking, a reckless plot to allow the 5 to escape into another world line. Surely such a thing can't be possible? We're talking about the same trick that allowed the Dandelions to transfer to other world lines after the Keyblade War, but these children are no masters. They haven't the means, unless, of course, a certain lady of magic summoned here from the future knows more than I do. The whole Union leader thing was supposed to be by the books. Are these new events just another phase in the Master's grand plan? Unknown. Observations Excerpt 2. Even in a world line with no Keyblade War, peace is but a dream. In the absence of us and our Master, a darkness arrived. One that shall surely lead the world to yet another demise. Amid the chaos, I bequeathed my Keyblade to one of the Union leaders, just as the Master instructed. I watched as the 5 were sent to another world line at no small cost, ensuring the line of Keyblade wielders will live on. And now, Keybladeless, I must depart this land to fulfill my final task. This means casting my own body aside and sojourning my heart in vessel after vessel, as many as it takes. But I will continue gazing upon each passing era, one into the next. In time, be it years or decades, century or millennia, I will meet the 5 once more. Somewhere in this cyclical history of bequeathings, a chosen one will appear and reenact the Keyblade War. When the scapegoat arrives and takes my Keyblade in hand, that will be the time to take the stage and finish my role. The Lost Masters will awaken. Unknown. Okay. Observations Excerpt 3. It seems this body, this name will be my last. The lives I have lived over the ages could fill volumes. But for now, I must focus on what matters most. The keyblade has been successfully passed down, generation to generation, and it seems a keyblade master devoted to the darkness may finally arise. Until now, I have watched over the course of events from a distance. Perhaps the time has come to intervene. I need only play the role of a fool desirous of the keyblade's power. I will don the mask of his ally in order to keep watch over my keyblade from close by. The gazing eye, a keyblade forged from the eye of the master of masters. He passed it to me, as I have to others, and through it he can see the future. All that will ever come to pass, spanning the ages in body after body, life after life. My task has been to keep vigil over the eye as it passes through hand to hand. It has been a long time, longer than I can express. But now, at last, the Keyblade War has begun, and Kingdom Hearts will open. A true and complete Kingdom Hearts, born of the clash between darkness and light. I will soon be reunited with my old companions, and in that moment, my long vigil will reach its end. He will return. Unknown. Oh god. Ah! Okay! Ominous. So were all of the unknowns Breg, Zigbar, Lushu? Pick one. Pick your favorite. Because the first one was also an unknown, yeah? You know what? I'm sure it's fairly obvious throughout the Kingdom Hearts series thus far, but when I read something out loud, I don't actually grasp it nearly as well as I do if I could slowly dissect it in my head. So I'm actually going to reread these one more time by myself, and I'll chime back in if I actually clue into anything that I didn't get that's just not fairly obvious from the get-go. Okay, so after just rereading the first report, I actually completely understand it much better, but only because I actually read the reports that preceded. Because clearly this is written by the girl that Saïx and Axel keep going to see. Hence, the two boys that come talk to me occasionally. But then it goes on to say, a guy with an eye patch came and took me away. Which, I don't know. I don't know anybody with an eye patch, do you guys? God damn it. The second report was pretty straightforward, obviously, but now it's more easily understood that this was obviously written from a Xehanort pre-Yellow Eyes, if you will. A chess-loving Xehanort, let's say. So, a few observations about Secret Report 3 is it's written by Xehanort, which is really confusing because so was Secret Report 2. What's confusing is the fact that he goes on to describe Subject X, the girl that I presume obviously Lee and Isa were on about, as devoid of memories, and then goes on to say just like himself. Which, like, when did he lose his memory? Was that... I don't know. Okay. I'm just confused. Was it before or after Secret Report 2 was written? He does say that Ansem the Wise did experiment on him at this point. But to the point where he lost his memories? I'm not too... I don't know. Also, you know, I'm just spitballing theories because, like, at this point, you know, it's a pre-built story, so I'm assuming that we probably know who Subject X is at this point, already, and it's just kind of a guessing game, and the only loose person that I can think of was fucking Neo Akiyama from goddamn the mobile game, and I'm not convinced that that's correct, because if I'm completely honest, I actually kind of forget her fate. I don't remember where she ended up, in the mobile game. I'm a little fuzzy on that, so, you know, I'm just spitballing here. I actually have no idea who this could be. I don't know. This one actually kind of backs the theory that I just had, but again, maybe I'm treading too far down a rabbit hole that is aimless anyway. But again, it's kind of reaffirmed here that maybe it is Neo Akiyama, which is not the actual fucking name, I understand this. But they go on to say in this one, the question may not be where she has come from, but when, you know? Like a time past. I don't know, man. Not that I only just picked this up on this second read-through of Report 6, but I just wanted to reiterate that I do understand. It's actually such an interesting revelation that Saïx and Axel only fell into, you know, the whole Organization 13 nonsense because of the fact that they were motivated to save Subject X. you know, that actually answers a question that I didn't even know that I had, you know? I didn't really ever question why they ended up going in there. Maybe I should have, but I guess it's good to know the answer nonetheless. And of course it would end up being something really sweet and heroic at the same time, considering, I mean, they're good people. We know this. Here's a question that I'm not sure if I should understand at this point, or maybe nobody really knows. I'm pretty sure we probably have the answer on this and I'm just not putting things together. But the whole experimentation process that was going on inside of, Radiant Garden, Jesus, I was trying to remember. The castle inside Radiant Garden. It literally took me a minute to remember the name, Radiant Garden. That was all just to do with replicating humans? Is that all it was? Or is that just one branch of experimentation? I'm not sure that I'm completely understanding, because it does specifically refer to the replica program as exactly that, a replica program, insinuating that it's just one of many different things that they were studying. I don't know. This one's kind of confusing me a little bit. It says that Xemnas cannot exist in the present because there is already a Xehanort here, which is, you know, bald old man Xehanort. So they basically put him on ice by putting him in a replica? But does that technically mean that the Xemnas that we've seen this game was not actually Xemnas? I'm very confused. I'm so confused. I mean, it's a true-to-life Xemnas, but it's not actually Xemnas? I don't know that I'm understanding this one. So, in order for a heart to awaken from Sora's, basically what's needed is a body for it to go in, whether it be real or artificial, and the spark. So that's why when Ventus awoke, he was able to just like come back because his actual body was there. But Roxas took a lot of time because the replica wasn't there. Okay. It says that there's 3 hearts inside Sora's Heart Hotel, per se. But I guarantee that I'm really just forgetting something. So forgive me. Because this is gonna sound really fucking stupid, but I really need a refresher because I am not grasping it right now. Maybe by the time I edit this, I'll be like, oh, son of a bitch, I know who it is. But who are the 3 hearts inside Sora's? Because it says Roxas and another heart were put in Sora's around the same time, and then there was another one that was in there for much longer. The one that was in there for much longer was Ventus, if I'm understanding correctly. Roxas is obviously Roxas, because it's literally stated. The other heart was not Xion's though, right? I feel like I've talked about this in the past, and I'm forgetting the talk that I had within people in the comments regarding this. So again, forgive me, but it can't be Xion's, right? That doesn't make sense to me, because was there ever a time where Xion got her heart back? She was just kind of here. I don't understand. I'm very confused. So maybe I'm wrong, I don't know, but this seems very obviously like this report was written within the time frame of Chi, or the movie that we had to watch before starting Kingdom Hearts 3. Am I wrong about that? Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not too sure. So as far as I'm understanding, Secret Report 12 was very obviously written by Luxu. Or Bragg or Xigbar, again, pick your favorite. But I just want to point out that it's very interesting and so devious and just juicy, the good shit, that just seeing the one villain that we've been so focused on taking out for all of Kingdom Hearts to be merely written off as the scapegoat. When this scapegoat arrives and takes my keyblade in hand, that will be the time to take the stage and finish my role. It's so interesting. It's just so fucking devious. I love that. I really, like, I know that this is going to kind of discredit how fucking cool Secret Report 13 is, because it's obviously, once again, written by Luxu, but God, it's just, it's really cool how, again, this is like the weirdest little nitpick from it. I really like that. As far as I know, this is the first time we have an official name for the Keyblade that we've always seen Xehanort use, right? The Gazing Eye. It's just really cool. I don't know. Forged from the Eye of the Master of Masters. That sounds fucking disgusting, but really metal at the same time. I like it. Anyway, this has been enlightening. We had some enlightening reading today, and it's really fucking cool. I feel unique in the sense that like, so many people finally got their hands on Kingdom Hearts 3 and they're like, finally, this is the beginning of a game. Like, I can finally sink my teeth in another chapter of Kingdom Hearts. But I was in this unique position where when I reached Kingdom Hearts 3's beginning, I felt like things were ending, you know? Like, and I feel like not a lot of people probably share that feeling, because I think I started playing Kingdom Hearts 1 through when Kingdom Hearts 3 was either announced already or out. No, it must not have been out yet. I don't know. But it's just really nice to read these reports and see that we're still in the thick of it. It's not nearly done yet, you know? I was bummed at the very beginning because if you go back to episode 1, it didn't take me long to say that I was sad that it was ending. Again, probably a little ironic for a lot of people that, again, finally got their hands on this game and felt, here we go, a whole new chapter. But it's just good. It's just a good shit, man. I'm just really glad that there's still more to come. And you guys in the Discord have been talking and sharing your opinions, and apparently there's fan theories swirling around and other shit too that I'm gonna be able to sink my teeth into relatively soon after, you know, digesting a few more Kingdom Hearts-ish things, where, I don't know, apparently we're getting into possibly one of the coolest time periods in Kingdom Hearts, and it's really cool that I'm at the forefront of that, now. Again, I'm talking as if this is like the finale to end all finales when it comes to Kingdom Hearts, but this is not even the finale to anything. This is the final bonus episode of the main game, as far as I know, unless I go into the Discord and I've forgotten a few things, and then I'll come back tomorrow with a bonus episode. But as far as I know, tomorrow we are finally starting the DLC, Remind. So, you know, stick around for that. Anyway, that is it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys like this episode, please give it a like. If you want to subscribe for other Manual Let's Play, please do so, and also consider supporting me over on Patreon. Links for everything I just mentioned in the description down below. As always, thanks again for watching, and come back next time for what I believe is going to be the start of Remind. Also, I think I'm gonna premiere the beginning of Remind again, just like I did the beginning of Kingdom Hearts 3 and the finale of Kingdom Hearts 3. So if you can make it at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow, you know, come hang out, because it was a fun time at the finale, and it will be a fun time tomorrow, surely. Anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching. Come back next time for the beginning of Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind.